What's your current dream? Do you have any dreams at your age still? Like, growing up, I want to be a firefighter. What's your current, where are you at?
I'll give you a 2-part answer.
Yeah.
I have a short-term and a long-term dream.
Love it.
Short-term is to do the podcast full-time. And quit my day job.
And so what, I apologize for interrupting. What does that look like? Quitting your day job so that the podcast can handle the mortgage, the bills?
Yes.
Pay, okay.
Contribute to what I'm doing now, what I'm making now, enough that I can leave my day job. So monetizing the podcast is there. It's a priority. So that's a dream of mine. And that it's a pretty big dream in itself because I've been wanting to not work. For and this is an honest answer, for probably the past 5 years. Prior to that, it was always like in me, the blue collar mindset of got to wake up and make the money. But the older I get, the more I'm like, I don't want to beat my body up, and I want to be present again. Quality of life, time with my family. So that's my short-term dream or goal. My long-term is to have a production company.
You want a network?
I want a network. I want JMC Productions to really be the umbrella corporation of so many different things like podcast, short film, docuseries, documentaries, name it. And I don't know how I'm going to get there. I just know like there's this vision. I see it.
Which is amazing.
Thank you.
Which makes sense, which I fully believe. I think after today, we can certainly get you into that direction, because there's that was my sort of again, just an idea, one I sort of went out on a limb on, but it's kind of fizzled out a little bit, but still in the background a little bit. I mean, essentially, I think that's what a lot of people set out to do, is the whole network, just because then that means the more podcasts, the more episodes, the more monetization, the more dollars, right? And so I sort of officially, unofficially created the Do Better Network, right? Because it's just, it was me and Carlos, 280 Plus, this podcast, whatever. And so it's just us, because we understand that we just got to do a little bit better than the other guys and we'll be successful, right? And so, and it just, 9 times out of 10, when we see other podcasters or entrepreneurs or people who say they're musicians or rappers and you only put out 1 song a year, bro. Okay. Is that really what you're doing? Just, hey, do better, do a little better, and it'll be great. And so, I don't necessarily know what that vision looks like. Maybe with your help, we can kind of collab on that and come together and figure something out, because that's been, it hasn't been at the top of my list, but it's definitely something that I'm definitely working on, especially in the aspect of I'm doing this podcast. It's not my process behind the scenes is just a little bit different, simply stating because everything I do here, I learn from, and then I take on to my other business, right? So I have a whole nother business, Pixel and Hammer, where we make websites, digital marketing, graphic design, all that stuff, social media management, blog post creation I have 81 plus clients, right? And so I take what I learn here from video, audio, monetization, writing the descriptions, using AI for that, doing this, doing that. And then I learn, I find out what works. I find out what the algorithms need, what YouTube wants, what Instagram wants you to do, the reels, the shorts, the vertical, the this, the stories, that. And then I take all that and I figure out what's working, what doesn't, how it should be done. And then I sell it to my clients.
Gotcha.
And then that's how, this podcast necessarily, we made like $100 last year off of Patreon because we had a few people sign up and then got tired of it and I'm sure forgot. And then I cashed that out fine.
Sure.
But other than that, this podcast, it's not, I've got links and videos for fucking Gel Blaster and Dude Robe and Blue Chew or whatever. They're just affiliate links. A few people have clicked on them. We made a few bucks here and there, but I think at the end of the day, as far as it, I'm taking that monetization aspect from the podcast and just reapplying it elsewhere.
What you should be doing.
And it's working.
Yeah.
And Pixel and Hammer is thriving.
That's awesome.
And we now have like 3 to 4 to 5 people paying us a lot of money every month to do social and write blog posts and stuff. And it's fun. And so now I think this year my goal is to take it back to the pod, right? Because I've given the clients at Pixel and Hammer what they need. I can sell those packages and we can have that run for the next few years. So now let's take all that work that we've done, because essentially now it's automated. AI handles a lot of it. And then, so now let's put the work back into the pod.
Yeah.
Let's make recap and record better. Let's make this better. Let's get a new camera, upgrade the quality for this year.
Yeah.
And hey, let's do what everyone else is doing and maybe start 1 to 2 more podcasts, because we've got a little bit of time and we could probably throw something together real quick. And I think that's going to be the goal for this year here.
Yeah. And that goes back to being consistent. Mm-hmm. So like monetizing is definitely a priority for me, but it's also up there with quality of life. Mm-hmm. And so I'll always, like I'm sitting with my wife and I'm bringing my sister on board, who was really savvy with like the shit that you were just mentioning. Mm-hmm. Like for whatever reason, she can just do that really well. Yep. And so it's almost like, let's put the people that I know and love in positions of like of power, but not like a power, a good power. I don't
have them do something that means something.
That means something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the podcast in itself, JMC, really is I'm interviewing different people about their journey in life, and everybody and anybody is welcome. But it has become like this hub of a safe space for Black and brown voices to come and talk about things, including my own. Because being Puerto Rican, there's a lot of things that I can't express unless I have the time and the presentation to really explain it, where people are drawn in. I could have a conversation and people could be drawing it out because it's just another guy talking about his experiences being, so I say all that because having this network that I envision in mind, it's like, I would love to have a place where everybody, including Black and brown people, can come in intricate roles and can dominate because they're good at it. Right. And is it something that I have like on my agenda for tomorrow? No, but it's there. I've learned like you just keep stokes in the fire, so to speak. I think that's the phrase.
As long as there's coals on the fire.
As long as there are coals, right. And just keep them there. But that's something that I'm learning. Like I didn't have this mindset 3 years ago. No. It's a lot of like reading. It's a lot of listening to people that know what they're doing in different areas of the world, businesses. And you just take that philosophy and you're like, why not? Fuck it. I'm going to apply that here. Yeah. And you have to go through processes of like, this isn't working. Well, then I'm going to change how my approach is. Yeah. You have to. The end result still stays the same, but your process you need to be able to adapt. Yep. And that's what I'm learning. So it's cool because at the end of the day, it's like, I'm doing this, I'm investing in what I want to do, as opposed to doing all this for somebody else, which I've been doing my whole life, like we all have.
Well, and that, and I realized years ago that I was not an employee. Yeah. I will never be again. Yeah. I was not meant for it since the day I graduated college.
I'm learning that right now, dude.
It is, well, hey, good. I'm happy for you because it is a liberating feeling.